Hey guys, let's talk about long division. Yeah, we're going to talk about how you divide numbers with long division. So you probably did this somewhere back in around fourth grade, or at least I did it in fourth grade. I learned how to do long division. I loved it. And then after that, someone handed me a calculator and I didn't have to do it anymore. But guess what? Now you're going to have to do it again. So let's refresh on how you can do long division with numbers. And then we'll see how long division works when we have algebra. But don't get too scared yet. Let's focus on long division. So this is what it looked like. So let's say that I was going to divide the number 1,234. I'm going to divide that by the number 7. So again, what I'm doing is I'm taking 1,234. I'm going to divide it by the number 7 using long division. So what I would ask, I would say, okay, what can I divide 1 by 7 and or how many times will 1 go into 7? It doesn't. So then I would look at 12. How many times can 7 go into 12? One time. One time. So then 1 times 7 would be 7. So you'd write that number right here. Then you would draw a line. You would subtract. So 12 minus 7, and you would get 5. Then you would bring down the 3 because 7 won't go into 5. But will 7 go into 53? Yes, it will. How many times will 7 go into 53? 7 times, because 7 times 7 is 49. So then I'll draw a line. I'm going to subtract. 53 minus 49 is 4. 53 minus 49 is 4, so then bring down the 4. And then you have to think, okay, well now how many times will 7 go into 44? 6 times. And then 6 times 7 is 42. Then you could draw a line, subtract 44 minus 42, and you get 2. So our quotient would be 126 with a remainder of 2. So that's one way that you could have seen it written. The other way that we could have written it as 176 plus 2 sevenths, because you divided this 1, 2, 3, 4 divided by 7. We got 176, but then there were still 2 parts of 7 left over, so plus 2 sevenths. So you might see your answer written like this as well. The other thing that this tells us is factored form. If I take the number 7 and I multiply it by 176, and then I add 2, I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't believe me? Grab your calculator and try it. 7 times 176 plus 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could have written it in any of these 3 formats. This is like the remainder form. This is as a fraction. You also might have seen this written as 176 and 2 sevenths. But when you write a mixed number, there's really an invisible plus sign there. Or we could have written it in factored form. 7 times 176 plus 2 is 134. Any of those forms are acceptable. Now, I would say go ahead and pause the video and see if you can divide 86 by 3 and see if you get 13 remainder 5. Just practice on your own. All right, so now let's talk about long division with polynomials. So we're going to divide x cubed minus x squared plus 11x minus 6 divided by x squared minus 4x plus 3. So the first thing you're going to do, number 1, is you need to set up the problem. Under this thing. Now notice there is no little check mark here. If I put a check mark here, that's the square root symbol. So don't put a check mark there. It's just a line under the division part. And make sure that all powers of x are represented. make sure all powers of x are represented. So that means like x to the third. If that's my highest x, then I need to make sure there's an x squared, an x, and a constant. If there's not, we're going to put a placeholder of 0. So if not, you're going to insert the 0 placeholder. That's a z. All right, so let's set this problem. We're going to take this x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6, and we are going to divide it by x squared minus 4x plus 3. Then, I'm going to look at the first term of each polynomial. So you have to think what part of your dividend, hold on just a second. You have to think, what do I need to multiply the first term of the divisor by in order to be the first term of the dividend? So let's write that down. What do I need to multiply first term of divisor by to equal first term of the dividend? And in case you forgot, here's the parts of a quotient. This is the dividend. What's underneath? Outside is the divisor. And up top, that's the quotient. All right, so I'm thinking, what do I need to multiply the first term of the divisor by in order to be the first term of the dividend? So let's see, x squared times x. Then you write that on top. Okay, next step. Step 3. You're going to multiply every term, each term of divisor by that number you just came up with, and write below. So I'm going to distribute this x to all 3 terms. So x times x cubed is x squared. X times negative 4x is minus 4x. Sorry, x times x cubed is x times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 4x is negative 4x squared. X times 3 is plus 3x. So we wrote that below. That was step 3. Step 4, which I need to end up writing over here, is going to be to draw a line and subtract. You have to be careful with your subtraction here. This is where most people make their mistakes. So draw a line, you're going to subtract every term, which means you're going to change every symbol. That's probably the safest way to subtract so you don't miss any signs. So x cubed minus x cubed is 0. That cancels. 6, negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2x squared. 11 minus 3 is plus 8x. The next step, let's see, I need a new color, is going to be to bring down the next term and start over. So I'm going to bring down that negative 6. Now I'm going to start over. What do I need to multiply the divisor by, the first term of the divisor, in order to be the first term now this number? Start over, but with this new expression. So x squared times what is going to be negative 2x squared? That's negative 2. Let me erase these distribution marks. Then I'm going to distribute that negative 2. So then I'm going to go back to, that was that part. Then I'm going to go back to the blue pen. Then I need to distribute this negative 2 to all 3 terms. And I'll write it below down here. So negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative 4x is plus 8x. And negative 2 times 3 is minus 6. Then we can draw a line and subtract, not plus, subtract. And again, one way to subtract, which is the safest way, is to just change all of the signs. Because that means subtract means make it the opposite. So negative 2 plus 2 cancels. 8 minus 8 cancels. Negative 6x plus negative 6 plus 6 cancels. 0. So that means that our remainder would be 0. So when I divide x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6 divided by x squared plus 4x plus 3, I get x minus 2. That's my quotient. So a couple of ways to write this. X cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. When I divide that, like if I write it as a fraction, x squared minus 4x plus 3, I get x minus 2. If I want to write it in factored form, then I know that if I take x minus 2 and multiply it by that divisor, then I'll get the dividend, x cubed minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6. But whenever you're looking for the answer or the quotient that you have to enter, x minus 2 is your answer. So the number that's on the top, that's your answer. We'll look at another example. 16x to the fourth minus 85. We're going to divide that by 4x squared plus 9. So I'm going to set up my problem. But remember, whenever you set it up, you need to make sure that all powers of x are represented. So I have 16x to the fourth. But I don't have any x cubed, so I'm going to say plus 0x cubed. Don't have any x squared, plus 0x squared. I'm inserting placeholders to make sure all my like terms line up. Plus 0x, then minus 85. That's going to be divided by 4x squared plus 0x plus 9. All right, so now I'm going to look at my first term. What do I need to multiply 4x squared by in order to get 16x to the fourth? Well, if I multiply 4x squared by 4x squared, I'll get it. So let's distribute. 4x squared times 4x squared is 16x to the fourth. 4x squared times 0 is plus 0x cubed. And 4x squared times 9 is plus 36x squared. So see, putting the zeros there let me keep the x cubes and the x squareds stacked on top of each other. Now I'm going to subtract, so change all the signs. 16 minus 16 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 36, negative 36x squared. Bring down the plus 0x and the minus 85. Because I've got 3 terms here, I want to make sure I keep 3 terms. Then I'm going to look at the first term here and the first term there. And 4x squared times what would give me negative 36? I know 4x squared times negative 9. So then, I need to erase these distribution marks. Negative 9 times 4x squared is negative 36x squared. Negative 9 times 0x is plus another 0x. And negative 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. So draw your line and subtract. So change all the signs. Negative 36 plus 36 cancels, and then this should always cancel. That first term should always cancel. 0 plus 0 cancels. Negative 85 plus 81 is negative 4, so my remainder is negative 4. So a couple ways I can write my answer. My quotient, or my solution here, I can write it as 4x squared minus 9 with a remainder of negative 4. Or I could say this is the same as 4x squared, not 4x the fourth, 4x squared, come on now, minus 9 plus the negative 4 over your divisor. 4x squared plus 0x plus 9. And I'm not going to write the plus 0 because I don't have to. All right. Have fun with this one.